Hi everyone, I'm Barbara's oldest grandchild. I'm about 7 years older than the next, so I have a slightly different vantage point on her than my cousins, but also her children. And what's your name? My name's Tom, McGovern. And folks have spoken about how Barbara was intrepid and brave. Folks have spoken about how she was always kind, even when she perhaps didn't understand people. Folks have spoken about how sometimes she was perhaps a little inappropriate, but did not let that stop her from telling you what she thought or how she was feeling. And some things that I've been thinking about, hearing all these stories, are in particular how she loved people, and even when she did not understand them, she did not let that stop her from trying to connect with them. And that was not fearless. Sometimes that made her anxious, but she didn't let that stop her from trying. And when she made mistakes, that also did not stop her. And in my experiences with her, sometimes that was, a wonderful occurrence, like when she introduced me to coffee when I was sitting on her lap at about 7 months old. And so began my love of coffee and my lifelong caffeine addiction. And sometimes that presented challenges, like the time that she was trying to teach me how to deep clean our home in the woods when I was in the middle of studying for a calculus exam. But when I think about the impact that she made on me and so many people, I think about how she wasn't afraid to try to connect with people, even when she didn't quite know how. And I think especially in the times that we're living in, where it's easy to be mistrustful of others, to be divided, to be disconnected from our neighbors. That was a gift that she had. And it's something that I'm trying to carry forward. And I hope you all will do so with me and remember Barbara. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome my oldest friend. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Maureen Montville. Fun. Hey, what's up? Sorry about that. So, I just want to say, I don't even know if this is working or not, but, oh yeah. I just want to say a little about the mom.
Like this?
Yeah. Okay. I just want to say, she was a wonderful woman. And as far as that goes, she was a wonderful mom. My family, we had young parents in the 60s. I feel like I don't have to say a whole lot more than that. And Sterbank, Barbara, Bobby, Mark, Mary, you guys were my family. You were my functional family that I would go over and just learn and watch your mom. Oh, she was such a good, caring mother who spent time making sure that her kids had what they needed, and she actually paid attention to what you guys did, which was kind of different for me, but I always wanted to be like her. She was always the mom, the person that I wanted to be. And I just felt like she's always been a beautiful person. And just the whole music thing even made it better. Like, wow, you could be this wonderful mom that cares and takes the time for your family. But yet, you can also be this talented musician who takes it and teaches people. And just, I don't have words to say how much she really meant to me, how much your family really meant to me. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, don't forget there's a time zone change from Alabama to Georgia.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, we were wondering.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mark Sterbank, and I'm the number 2 son. I'm the 3rd of 5 children, so I'm the classic middle child.
Yes.
So, or in our family, I'm the sensitive one. So, and sometimes I think, no surprise, although all my siblings are musicians and musically gifted, I was the only one that ended up becoming a professional musician as my sole vocation, and then became a teacher after that as well, although my siblings are also teachers. But I wanted to share a little bit about Mom, that I think everybody has their own unique story about, both from the inappropriate side, but then also one of her gifts was she had a way of making you feel special. And I don't know if she did the same thing for my siblings or not, so hopefully I don't arouse jealousies or in thinking of these things. But there were things that she did and went out of her way with Dad's help and together to make me feel special, because there were things that were difficult for me. I was the baby for 5 years, and then all of a sudden my sister Kathy came along, and then I became the middle child. And that was apparently a difficult thing for me. I celebrated her arrival by throwing her toys at her in the crib, things like that. That's what they tell me, I don't remember. The things that she would do for me, some of the things, for example, I remember in junior high school, I got my first 10-speed bike. Now, none of us had a 10-speed. But they took me to get a 10-speed bike, because my friend had a 10-speed and everything. So I had my own 10-speed bicycle when I was in junior high, which was very cool. And I remember my brother was, I think he was jealous because we took his 3-speed and we converted it to 10-speed. We just figured out how to do that. But that was one thing she did for me. She took me to all my music lessons, devotedly, dropping me off. Sometimes I had to wait a little extra long to get picked up. But the thing that I was sitting there remembering was she always made me feel special on my birthday. And so this particular time, and I don't know if she did this for you guys, she did it for me at least this one time, took me on a date, just me and her, to go to La Rich's Pizza in Lyndhurst. I don't know if she did that for you guys too. That was the thing she liked to do, make us feel special on our own date. And the inappropriate part, this is the first time that I can remember going, Mom! Because afterwards, when we got back in the car, she decided, I think I was in 5th grade, that it was time for the talk. I said, I already know all this. And she's like, do? I was like, yeah. She's like, where did you learn that? I was like, well, in school, Of course, I was kind of lying, but trying to end the moment. But that was the thing that I thought about, the various support that they gave me in terms of buying me the instruments I needed when I went to music school, or making sure that I was able to go to one of the finest music schools in the country, even though it was really expensive. And they had just sent my brother to one of the finest law schools in the country, and so and my sister to the the schools that she wanted to, and they worked so hard. So that was just a gift she had in different ways to make you feel special, to make you feel seen. And then of course make you go, wow. So that's what I wanted to share. Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Melanie Hendricks. I have the honor and privilege of serving as a director at Silver Comet Village. And I'd not be doing right by Barbara if I didn't say a word. I love hearing the stories, the stories of folks that, family and friends, people that have known her way longer than I have. I can just speak to the couple, barely 2 years, that I've known Dan and Barbara, and the difference that they've made in my life and in the lives of many others in our community. There's a couple of ways that people can change. We know that there's things that our health needs to change, or our discipline needs to change, or different things in our lives need to change, and it's usually by two ways. Either somebody lighting the fire underneath you, or somebody lighting the fire within you. And Barbara was one of those that lit the fire within. And I love recalling the choir, as short-lived as it was. It seemed like it was decades. I mean, it was serious. Barbara and Dan both took it very seriously. I think bi-weekly, was it weekly or bi-weekly practices that they did? And at the performance, when they had their performance, I didn't even know all the talent that we had in our communities. And Euros, you're one of them. Euros was a talent that I didn't know. He was one of the soloists. Patty was one of the quartet. So we had duets, quartets, solos. We even have a yodeler, y'all. Seriously. One of the residents that came out and did her solo on the guitar, and one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and then yodeled, and but being able to discover all the talents and the passion and how it just came out of the woodwork, so to speak, that Barbara and Dan were able to ignite that passion. And we greatly miss it now. We greatly miss it. But Dan is very kind and gracious to continue on. I know it must be difficult, but we're so grateful to have that piece of you still. But it wasn't just about the performance. Barbara also ignited the fire within others. She would rally groups of people to go into our assisted living. We have on our campus, we have the independent living building, where Dan and Barbara live, and then in assisted living, we have the assisted living and a memory support neighborhood. So she would rally different people to come and put together songbooks. She had a whole list of songs. She'd come down to the business office and say, hey, can you just print off these? I need 25 copies. I need these binders put together. And so I would come down and talk to Jennifer, our business office manager, and she'd be in the middle of doing something. She's like, I've got to get this done for Barbara. She's going to have it, And so she pulled all the binders together. We had, scores and scores of binders that we would pass out. She would tell them what page to turn to, and then they would sing. They would do sing-alongs, and that was just as impressive as the performances. Because not only did they go into assisted living, but she thought it was very important to go into memory support as well. And there were probably 5 or 6 every time that would come just to be a part of what Barbara was doing and be supportive and to give back. And so that's how we'll always remember Barbara, and so grateful and honored. Thank you. Last call. Here comes my lovely daughter, Nadia.
I'll keep this short. I am the second eldest cousin, and unfortunately that puts me 7 years younger than my brother Tom. So I only got to see kind of the later half of her life. But what still strikes me to this day as the most impressive and valuable thing about Barbara is she understood that joy was what mattered in life, and it didn't matter the reason why. And she understood the difference between kindness and compassion and politeness, which not many people her age did, because I always felt kindness from her. And when we both realized that we just like pretty things to be pretty, she never stopped showing me pretty things, whether it be jewelry or clothing or crystals. She understood that life was worth living for the things that bring you joy. And so few people are naturally inclined to do that. But she was. And she brought it out of everyone around her, which is why everywhere she went, people were nicer and more full of life, because she encouraged people to seek out what brought them joy. And that is what all of my memories of her come back to, is seeking joy for the sake of joy. And that's all I have.
We may never get out of here.
I promise I'll be quick. So I am Bob's wife, and Bob and I met, and things moved rather quickly. So the first thing he did was take me to meet Barbara. So most people are really excited to meet their potential mother-in-law, right? I showed up, and I was blown away. She was just amazing. And I had lost my mother at 30. She became that mother. And I asked her to be at the birth of my daughter and at my wedding. And again, how many people ask that of their mother-in-law? When my father, I was taking care of him when he was ill, she would call him every week to talk to him, even if she was not doing well. She just brings joy to everywhere. And I'm just so grateful that I had her.
I saw some movement in the back. I just wanted to make sure. Anybody else? Okay, we're going to move on. There's a slight change in the program. Moving on from this. Rather than doing You Raise Me Up, which would have been, I'm not even sure how we were playing. I guess we were going to do a recording of that. My siblings and I thought that it would be a missed opportunity and a disservice to her if we did not sing something together. And so I, thank especially my sister Kat and my brother Bob for finding this beautiful song. It's called Wanting Memories by Sweet Honey in the Rock. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. It's a wonderful group. You should look it up. We have been, really the tribute to my mom is the amount we've been practicing the last 2 days. Yes, but only 2 days. So we offer this to you in her spirit, and it has been such a delight. I think we're going to do this without the mic because there's 5 of us, and we'll probably put that.
Just like we did. Just you and me over there.
surprise you, but.
So we say we're simple?
I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. You used to rock me in the cradle of your arms. You said you'd hold me till the pains of life were gone. You said you'd comfort me in times like these, and now I need you. Now I need you. And you are gone. I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Since you've gone and left me, there's been so little beauty, but I know I saw it clearly through your eyes. Now the world outside is such a cold and bitter place. Here inside I have few things that will console. And when I try to hear your voice above the storms of life, then I remember all the things that I was told. I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Think of the things that made me feel so wonderful when I was young. Think of the things that made me laugh, made me dance, and made me sing. Think of the things that made me grow into a being full of pride. I think of these things, oh, they are true. I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. I thought that you were gone, but now I know you're with me. You are the voice that whispers all I need to hear. I know a please, a thank you, and a smile will take me far. I know that I am you, and you are me, and we are one. I know that who I am is numbered in each grain of sand. I know that